Hi, welcome to this training video. I'm Karen. I am an off-the-track thoroughbred retrainer. I specialise in retraining off-the-track thoroughbreds using holistic rehabilitation and compassionate training. So in this video, I am working with Sam, who is a 20-year-old off-the-track thoroughbred. Sam has been with me for quite a long while. He's been with me since he left racing as an 8-year-old. Now, when I was retraining horses way back then, what was like 13 years ago, I didn't retrain them as I do now. Sam has been out of work for about 3 years, so he's just coming back into work in this video. Is his first session with the saddle on, actually. So I wanted to show you an issue that he has. So Sam doesn't stand at the mounting block. So he won't stand still. Every time I bring him up to the mounting block, he moves away. When I go to get on, he moves away. So I wanted to do a video with what to do if you have your thoroughbred and he doesn't stand at the mounting block. In racing, it's not expected of them to stand, every time a track work rider gets on. I've worked in racing and been a track work rider for over 17 years. It's a very fast-paced industry. Quite often we'll get legged up on the racehorses as they're being moved along. And also too, definitely in racing, jockeys are legged up while the horse is moving along most of the time, here in Australia anyway. So, look, if you've got an off-the-track thoroughbred and they're not standing at the mounting block, that is very, very common. And I wanted to do a training series on how to address this and fix it. So you'll see here, so this is the first video with Sam, and I show you how he doesn't want to stand at the mounting block, but then I show you what I will be doing to fix it and the first steps. So the not standing at the mounting block is a symptom of deficits in his basic response foundation training, in his retraining. For me, I retrained him many years ago. So that's a reflection of me way back when I was retraining him 13 years ago. I haven't actually gone back and really solidified his basic foundation. So that's why I'm doing it now. And I wanted to show you how to do it. So I go back, I use Equitation Science Principles in my retraining. Sorry for my dogs barking every time I do a video. My dogs bark. Suki! It's just part of my videos now. My puppy's barking. I use Equitation Science Principles as part of my retraining process with off-the-track thoroughbreds. And that goes back and it is retraining your basic foundations of your stop and your go and your turn and your yield. Now, any problems that you will have with your off-the-track thoroughbred, it usually goes back to deleting any issues when it comes to pain or lameness or other situations. But if they've been addressed and you're having some behaviour problems with your horse or some issues they're not standing, it goes back to training. And it goes back to one of the basic foundations. So you'll see here in this video how I address Sam not standing at the mounting block with deficits in his basic foundation training. So I hope you enjoy the video. Let me know if you have any questions, pop them in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Let's have a look, Sam. Come here, bub. Okay, so this is my beautiful Samuel, my 21-year-old off-the-track thoroughbred. Hey, baby. We've been together for 7, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 14 years, Sam. Hey? 13 years. Like that anyway. 13, 14 years. Long time, baby. Okay, so this is, I just wanted to show you guys, see how he doesn't want to stand. So, give you an idea of where I start. It's just... Okay. So the first thing we've noticed is, because I always focus on my basic responses, and I know you can hear me, you probably can't see me. I'm just doing his girth up here. He doesn't want to stand still, do you, Samuel? No. So I've ridden him a few times as bareback. Haven't sort of had a saddle on him and done anything for years. Quite a few years. So
And you can see I'm riding him in a bitless head collar with reins, okay? Because he's older and I would like to give it a go. I've ridden him before in bitless, bareback actually. He's my old boy, so I trust him completely. But he's not really consolidated in his basic responses of stopping and going. So what I'm going to do is just turn him around for you. So we'll turn around just so you can see. So I'll bring him forward. So first thing is we want him to stop and go. Oop. Okay, so we've noticed already that when I've asked him to stand still, he doesn't want to stand still. So, and he's done this before. See how he's moving away? So I know, so I'm just going to bring him up and we're going to practice. Come on, bub. Bring him up, I know. And he's just a little bit, see, he's doing his funny mouth thing. He's a little bit anxious. When I retrained him, it wasn't, I wasn't doing the type of retraining that I do now. This was quite a long while ago, like 13 years ago, 12, 13 years ago. So he's, the way I retrained him wasn't the way I retrain now. I'm a lot more, I consolidate their basic responses in hand first, whereas when I retrained him, it was basically straight in the saddle. You know, like we all just want to get on and get in the saddle until we know better. Okay, so let's just stand, good boy. So I'm just going to reward him. See how he's sort of pushing his nose into me and things like that. He's done this before. He's a little bit worried. That's okay. So I'm just going to reward him. Good boy. Reward him for standing still. I'm very proud of you. I know, this is fun, Sam, isn't it? Okay, so we're just going to move this across because I'm going to need to get this up one more. I might be able, without you walking off, Samuel. Okay, might not be able to. Yeah, I should be able to, Sam. Let's just do it. Attaboy. No. So I'm just going to take him a step back. Good boy. Good boy. Stand. Good boy. Okay, so our aim today is to stand. I'm going to guarantee that when I go to get on, he's going to walk away. So it might be the whole lesson in itself, just actually getting on and off. Come here, sweetie. Come on. Okay, so this is where we are. Okay, good boy. Hey, good boy. Okay, so I'm just going to stretch his legs. Yep, we have a little stretch. That's the boy. Yeah, you can do it, my big boy. That a boy. I know you're a good boy. Okay. You're going to straighten up a little bit so we can stretch the other leg. That a boy. And it's good boy. Okay. That a boy. Good boy. I know. Oh, big stretch. Okay. Okay, so where do we start with our off the track thoroughbreds, whether they've been off the track for years or you're retraining them straight off the track and they've had their spell and things like that. Our basic responses of stop and go. So stopping is slowing their legs down and going is asking their legs to move. So going forward, walk, trot, canter, faster in speed, longer in stride length. So it all comes down to stopping and going to start with. And you can see he doesn't want to stop, so he doesn't want to keep his legs still. So these, good boy, reward him, good boy. So I'm just going to also do a little head down with him. So a bit of pressure on both sides of the reins. Good boy, reward him when he drops his head. And stand, when he walks forward, just take a step back. Good boy, good boy. Yeah. The whole lesson could just be me getting on and off with him standing still. Good boy. Good boy. So I just want him to stand there. He's got his mates up there. A whole flock of sheep went past. They were moving sheep along the road, so that distracted him. Okay. We drop our head again. So asking him to lower his head. Bit of pressure. Good boy. Hey, I'm not going to worry about him turning around. He did what I wanted. He lowered his head. Good boy. Just stand. Good boy. That's okay. Just want him to stand there in self-carriage, which means he's not leaning on me, he's not pushing into me. We're going to ask him to lower his head again. Good boy. Good boy. Lowering their head teaches it. Actually, it relaxes them. They're out of the flight response posture with their head up and eyes sort of, you know, looking. He's playing with his tongue. He's sucking his sort of tongue back and that, so I know he's a little bit nervous. It would all come back to his racing days, even after all this time. Hey, I know he had an intense racing career. Whoop. So just stand. Stand. Good boy. So I just want him to stand there. Good boy. So I'm going to ask him, I'm actually going to do in hand. So I'm going to just put my stirrups up, and just while I do this, let's just pop these up here. Okay, so I'm just going to ask him to step forward. We're going to do walk and stop. So a little bit of pressure on the front, forward, good boy. And see how he's heavy? That's okay. And backwards to stop, good boy. Good boy, yeah. And we're just going to turn Samuel, because we've got the short end of the arena. So I'm just going to turn him here and forward and back. So see how he moved his bottom, he's moving his hind legs, so his stop response isn't clear. Good, he didn't stop when I asked him to because he kept moving his hind legs. So we're just going to straighten again, go forward, forward. And he's heavy with coming forward. Okay, and backward. He stopped nicely there, nice and soft. As soon as he stops, I release the pressure. I actually had to use any pressure there. And backwards. Back. Good boy. Good boy. Okay. And forward, light, heavier pressure, and release as soon as he steps forward. And backwards with my reins and stand and release. Back into neutral. Good boy. And there's the horse, his friend, so he's talking to his mate, so he's going to get a little bit upset. And forward, forward. Good boy. And backwards with my reins and stand. Good boy. Give him a pat. Good boy. Good boy. Okay, bring my reins forward. Ask him to go forward. So forward with my reins, light, heavier response, release as soon as he walks forward. And he's a little bit lazy here in that he's a bit slow, so a little bit more active. Forward with my rein response towards his chin and release. And backwards with my rein, good boy. Stood nice and lightly then, good boy. So his stop was really nice there, good boy. So I'm happy with that, so I'm just going to leave him there. Hey? Give him a pat on the head and reward him. So with your training, you stop and go. He's going to roll, you're not going to roll. He loves rolling in the sand arena. No, you're not going to roll. Good boy, hey? Yeah, so. And I'm just going to ask him for another head down because it sort of puts him in, takes him out of the alert flight position. So straighten his nose up, a little bit of pressure on the reins down, down and release. Good boy. As soon as he gives you, release. Okay, I know he's put his head up, but I'm just right at the basic response at the moment. Okay, this is where you start. Just checking how you stop and your go responses are. Are they stopping to your light rein aid? Are they coming forward to pressure with your light rein aid? And are they standing until you ask them to move forward again? So he's standing nice there until I ask him to move forward. Good boy. So I do, you do 3 sets of, so see how he's moved there and he wants to rub on me, so I'm just going to ask him to step back. Good, and go back into position and release. Good boy. And reward him for doing the right thing. Good boy. What a good boy. Yeah. So he's a little bit nervous, but see, I want him to stand. This is what self-carriage is. Standing there, not leaning on me, not moving around. Good boy. Okay, so I'm going to do another set of 3 to 3 to 7 repetitions. So I'm going to ask him to step forward, light response, heavier. See, he went and release. So it's a little bit heavy there. Ask him a little bit more forward, but just going to turn here. I haven't done turns with him, so we'll just do forward. So, and backwards. So in his forward response there, he was heavy to my rein pressure, but as soon as he responded, I released it. Good boy. So we're going to do it again. We're just going to bring the reins forward towards his chin, light pressure. He hasn't responded heavier, and he's responded. As soon as he responds, I release. And backwards towards his chest, and he didn't stop correctly there because he still moved his hind legs. So even though his front legs slowed down, his hind legs kept moving. So we want all 4 legs to stop when we ask to stop. So forward again, so straighten his head up. Forward with my rein, light, heavier, and release. And light, heavier, a bit faster, and release. There we go. And backwards towards his chest. That was nice, light. See how he stopped at a really nice light response there? Good boy. Let's do one more. Okay, so he's actually quite good at his stop response. So I'm going to bring my reins forward, light, heavy, and there. So we don't want to move our legs. We want him to respond to the rein aid only, not following our legs. Okay, so he's a bit better. Now I ask for stop and backwards and release. See how he was nice and light in his stop there. Good boy. So I'm happy with that. Hey? Good boy. So we give him another break. That was set. I don't know what set it was. It was 3 to 5 repetitions. As long as we get about 3 repetitions in a row of an improved response, we leave it at that. Okay, we don't want to keep drilling them. Good boy. So we have about a minute and a half to 2 minutes break in between your sets. So with your in-hand work, training your stop and go, or actually when you're training anything, you want to do 3 sets. So like 3 sets of 3 to 7 repetitions. If you're getting, so he's moved forward here, so I'm just going to step him back and correct him and release and pat him. Good boy. So he knows that. He knows if he's done the wrong thing, then pressure goes on and I step him back, which is negative reinforcement. And when he does the right thing, I reward him with a pat on the head. So see how he's not so upset in his mouth now, he's more relaxed. He was worried before and he had quite a lot going on, and he's come forward, so I'm just going to take his step back. Just good boy. And good boy, and pat him for doing the right thing. Yeah, so he's standing nice and relaxed there. While we're having our 2-minute break, I'm just going to ask, we can ask for a bit of head down. So let's just straighten his nose up, and this is lowering the head, so a little bit of pressure on the reins. Good boy. Release as soon as he does the right thing. He's going to come forward in a moment, so you just stand there. Good boy. No, he's not. Good boy. Hey, I'm so proud of you, Samuel. There's my puppies barking at the back there. I know. Okay, so standing to the side a little bit. When you're doing this, do stand to the side a bit, not in front in case they spook and run over you. Good boy. Okay, so this is his first day actually in work doing this after years. So he's going to come forward, so I might take him for a step back. Good boy. So he has done, we've done dressage. We actually haven't done much competing, but we've done dressage and a little bit of jumping. I got very busy in the racing industry when he came into work, so not as much as I would have liked to have done. He's a beautiful horse. Okay, so let's move on to our 3rd set. So I'm going to ask him to come forward. So I've got my reins about 15 centimetres underneath his chin. Forward, light, heavier, and release. He is heavy and a little bit dawdly, but at the moment, and backwards to stop. And good boy. Good boy. Okay, so we're just going to turn here and bring him around here, and backwards to stop, and we'll straighten up because we want to just practice our stop and go in our repetitions on a straight line. Okay, so ask him to step that leg back. Good boy. So reward. No. Okay, head up. Good. No, back. So just correct him. Just correct. Good boy. And he knows that when he's back in the correct response, I'll leave him alone. Don't annoy him with asking to step back. Okay. And forward with our reins. Forward response. Forward. Hip a little bit heavy and release. 5, 6, and backwards. Oh, so he was a bit heavy in his stop there because he wanted to rub his head onto me. And also when we're asking forward, we do about 6 steps before we ask for our stop. Okay, so forward, light rein, heavy, and release. So you can see how I took a firmer pressure to ask him to go forward and backwards. Ah, Sammy, get up. I knew he was going to roll. No, you're not going to roll. Samuel, no. Naughty. Naughty, 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 naughty. Hey, you're not going to roll. Yeah, you can have a roll later. Okay, so that was a little interruption. Okay, so you just stand. He's got all funny with his mouth again because he's like, well, I wanted to roll. Hey, come on. So let's just ask him to step back. And forward, light, heavier, and release. Now I'm just going to ask him to walk a little bit faster. So forward with my reins, forward, heavier response. That's it. It took a bit of pressure to ask him to walk. And backwards, 1. See how he stopped nice and lightly there? Good boy. And forward, light, heavier. Bit of pressure I needed to ask him to walk forward. He's a bit crooked here, so a little bit more forward, a little bit more pressure, faster legs, and backwards, and release. So he was nice and light in his stop response there, and we're going to do one more, so let's just straighten up. I'll straighten him up first and backwards to stop. So see how he hasn't stopped there, he's moving, even though I've asked him to stop, he's going sideways. So we don't want that. That means that he's not clear in his responses, he's not obedient. So we start off at basic attempt and then we move up from basic attempt to obedience. Okay, so we'll just look at the camera here. So we'll straighten up again. He's got a little bit funny in his mouth, which is just showing a little bit of tension. That's a symptom of some tension. Okay, so reins in neutral under his chin. We're going to ask for our forward, but he's got all a little bit tense, so we just stand. None of that rein, no. Forward, light, heavier, and release. And light, heavier. So he's got a little bit heavy here and backwards. So you can see how he wants to lean his hand into me. So I'm just going to straighten him up. Move his nose away. So this is not self-carriage where he wants to lean his nose into me. He's a little bit worried, just showing that he's not clear in his responses. Okay, so we're going to do one more. Okay, because so forward, light, heavier. See how he was very heavy and release and backwards. Woo, release. Good boy. Good boy. There we go. So we're going to finish that nice stop. Okay, so we did our 3 sets of 3 to 7 repetitions. Good boy. And we ask him to step back and release. Good boy. Reward him. Good boy. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to ask him to lower his head again. So both pressure. I haven't asked him yet. And down. Good boy. As soon as he gives, I release. Scratch him on the forelock, wherever your horse likes a scratchy. You're not eating the reins. No. Good boy. Okay, no, and back. Now we're going to see if we can get on, hey, without you walking. What do you reckon? Give him another little break. We'll just walk him up to the mounting block, forward. Okay, and light pressure, heavier pressure. So you can see when I'm leading him at the moment, he's quite lazy and he wants to lean into me. So we'll see a progression with him as we work through his coming back into work retraining. Good boy. Okay, so I'm just going to let him stand here, ask him to lower his head again. Good boy. And that's a nice position for him where he can be relaxed. Just make good boy. Yep. Okay. Just want him not to nibble me in that, but I'm not going to punish him if he does. I just know that him nibbling me and being a bit fidgety is a symptom of him being not clear in his training. So it's amazing when they're really clear in their training, they calm down. Pop it, pop. Good girl. Good boy. What a good boy. So I'm just going to let him stand here before we mount up. I'm going to stand. Good boy. Yeah, he's such a good boy, Samuel. And we're just going to let's girth up while we're here. One more. That's the boy. So up. And we just want him to stand to see how he's walking around again. So you just correct him. If he walks off, you just correct him and reward him for going back and standing. Good boy. I know. So he's just got a little bit of anxiety with the thought of having the saddle on. Let's just straighten up for the camera. So forward with my rein. Forward. See, that was very heavy there. Oh, so heavy that he's got his rein in the mouth. Come on. I'll show you what to do too. So he's very heavy, sort of like draggy type of feeling. So forward. I'll show you what. See how he's so heavy to his rein response? Heavy. He's got even heavier since we started. So I'll show you how we fix that. We're just going to turn around. Good boy. Stand. Take a step back. Hey, take a step back. Take a step back. So backward pressure on his reins and release. Always release the pressure as soon as they do the right thing. Good boy. Okay. So see how he's a little bit fiddly with his tongue. He's sucking his tongue back. Hey. So we just stand there and relax. So I just want him to know that this is just a relaxing thing. Okay. Yeah, I know. So he's a bit worried about it. Hey. So we're just going to relax. Good boy. And just ask him to know, and he wants to push on me, so I just ask him to stand, and good boy, release and reward. Good boy, release and reward. Remembering to stand at the side. Hey, good boy. Yeah, good boy. Hey, good boy. And he wants to walk, so I'm just going to ask him to stand, back up and stand, and stand. Good boy. I could even leave it there this session. The fact that he hasn't been in for years, I could even leave it here. We'll see. In fact, I think I will leave it here because I'm very happy with him. He's now standing nice and relaxed. Okay, so we're going to leave it here for today. That session is where you would start, okay, with a stop and go. So see how he's walking? So ask him to step. Good. So I haven't even hopped on him. I just want him to relax and feel this as a positive experience. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah. Hey? So this is what, I'm actually going to leave this session here because you want to keep the session short. You know, no more than, you can even do 10, no more than 20 minutes. And, you know, even when they're right up into full work, I think anything more than a half an hour is personally too much for them. I like to keep the sessions short and frequent, but I do also like to give them breaks in between. So even if they have one day in work and they have one day off and another day in work. See how he's moved forward into me? So up. So as soon as he relaxes, I'm happy. Good boy. Okay, so that's our session for today. Can you see that I've left him, just pop the reins over his head. Good boy. Stand up. Good boy. Good boy. Okay, so we're going to leave that session there today. So that's day one session with Sam, coming back into work. Okay, and we're just testing our stop and go in hand. And he wants to come again, so I'm just going to ask him to step back and release. So when I finish on a nice note, I want to make sure that I haven't stressed him out. I know he's a little bit worried, so we're going to take the reins out of her mouth. Okay, good boy. Okay, so we'll leave it there and I will see you in the next session.